Hey guys, my name is Allie, and this is my final presentation. The outside source that I use for my project is the movie Clueless. For those that have never seen the film or have never heard of it, I'll give you a background about the film. The film came out in the mid 90s and is about a 15-year-old girl named Cher that lives in a $1 million mansion with her father. Cher and her best friend take it upon themselves to befriend a non hip girl that just came to their school. So, a new girl. The girls make Ty, the new girl, fit in with their popular crowd and make her more hip just because Cher and her best friend think it's the right thing to do. They want to help this non hip girl be more popular. But when Ty's makeover turns into a mess, Cher basically realizes that should have never changed Ty and that everyone is kind of special in their own way. So, this thesis for my paper is going to be Clueless shows people may want to follow social norms and fit in, but it's okay to be different. This relates to the human condition that humans need to be normal within society. And it also relates to the question, what does it mean to be human, and in what conditions do humans find themselves today? Which also can be demonstrated through The Descent of Man by Charles Darwin, Judith Butler's ideas on selfhood, and Whitting's The Straight Mind. Starting off with Judith Butler's ideas on selfhood, she kind of talks about how people around us impact the way we act. And so in her text that we kind of read about, it was saying that each self continuously impacts other selves with whom she interacts. So basically, the people that you are around will always influence the way you act and the way you are, just because you're around them so much, they tend to kind of rub off, or like your friends have an influence on the way you act and the things you do. And this relates to Clueless. I picked this because it relates to Clueless just because Ty was trying so hard to be popular, so she was doing exactly what the popular kids were doing. And since Cher and her best friend kind of brought her under their wing, it was kind of like Butler's construction of selfhood, that everyone that you are around you'll eventually act alike. And so, moving on to my second text that we were reading about is Whitting, The Straight Mind. And so in this text, we kind of read about just the different languages and just kind of the way people think. And in one of the parts of The Straight Mind, it was talking about, it says, the entire world is only a great register where the most diverse languages come to have themselves recorded, such as the language of unconscious, the language of fashion, the language of the exchange of women, where human beings are literally the signs which are used to communicate. So, that being said, I was kind of connecting that with Clueless because um, she was saying the language of fashion. So, I took this kind of as connecting Clueless with. So, it was a big thing in Clueless where they needed to make sure to completely change Ty's appearance and make her kind of fit in with the rest of them. So her language, so just even changing her experience or her fashion, kind of said a lot because it was kind of fitting her into a different crowd where she wasn't before. She was kind of more of a tomboy. So it's where that kind of related. And um, yeah, so moving on to my last source. It's going to be Charles Darwin's The Descent of Man. So, Charles Darwin talks about natural selection and kind of how every species is related to each other. And so I was relating this to Clueless because Cher kind of figures out in Clueless that it is okay to be different and we are all kind of related, but we're similar but different. And I think by Charles Darwin kind of saying through his natural selection that he was just every species, even though they're kind of different, they're all related to one another. So and um, also relating to the sexual selection that Charles Darwin talks about is in the movie the girls kind of played the role of the female choice part of sexual selection. So they were kind of going around. They had the pics of guys because they were the popular girls, and the guys were kind of chasing after all of them. And so, to conclude all of this, my personal thoughts on this human condition would that be that I think that people do have an impact on each other, but not everyone is the same, and that's a good thing. I think people are scared sometimes to act different than others and are scared to show who they really are, and so they're trying so hard to fit in. And I think a lot of people are afraid to be different and just want to fit in, and because that's what makes it, or that's the easiest route. And in Clueless, it just kind of turned out where they were trying so hard or like there was peer pressure for them or for Ty to fit in, and then once she fit in, it didn't really fit her. And yeah, so that's it.